How to build a brand in 30 days or less. Now, keyword build. We're building a brand in 30 days or less. All right, now let's get straight into it. Who am I? I am Cosmic Christos. I'm a creative business consultant. I have been consulting and creating businesses since 2013. Now, with this being said, I've had the opportunity to start my own business. I've worked with other different companies. I've worked on different projects. I just really have been able to immerse myself in all things creative and business. So I definitely, have a lot to share as far as, my own experience and journey is concerned. Now, with that being said, what do I necessarily do? I create blueprints, I create strategies to be able to help optimize and increase productivity as well as visibility within your business construct. If you are looking to get more engagement on social media, if you're looking to be able to create an outline, an aesthetic, or a presence that your brand illuminates when a person comes to your page, then look no further. This is definitely the video that you need to be watching. And I really felt the need to make this video mainly because I see a lot of people just, jump into being a content creator tomorrow, or, wanting to productize their experience or their knowledge or their skills, but they may lack the necessary brand approach. And this is what I'm here to break down in a more long form content video. So if you don't have a pen and paper, I highly recommend you write down some of these keynotes that I will be sharing throughout this video. How I do it. The way that I do what I do is by being able to assess, analyze, and optimize what you already have or what you have already, conjured up in your mind. So with that being said, if you brought me a business idea, concept, or a product idea or concept, I will be able to help you make tweaks and changes that probably will make it more marketable, more emotional, attached to the audience. I will be able to apply my creative niche to that. So I think that's more so in a nutshell how I could put how I do what I do is really just being able to analyze and then being able to, just add my own, Christos touch to it. So that's how I do it. Why I do it. I do what I do mainly because I know that there's a young creative out there going through the same steps that I went through, aspiring to have a brand, whether it's a clothing brand, wanting to have a store, or wanting to, just be a creator online in this space. And it's just trying to figure out how to do it. Like, what do I do? Where do I start? What tools are the best tools to use? What marketplaces? So I'm going to answer a lot of different questions throughout this video. And as I already stated before, a lot of this content is available in the branding blueprint, which is $9.99. So if you didn't get it, make sure you get it, because I think that it really is going to squeeze all of the juice out of the orange that I'm getting ready to present you guys today. Let me just start with a introduction to who I am, my backstory. Long story short, moved from Michigan, Detroit that is, to Los Angeles, California in about 2017. Now, with this move, it really came just after me kind of being fed up of living in Detroit. I told myself, man, this is my last winter here. I don't want to be here no more. I really just want to go somewhere else. So that's inspired me to just, move to California in 2019. But I originally came out here in 2017. I formulated some connections for the 3 months that I was out here. And then I was able to move back in 2019. Right now, I'm back and forth between Los Angeles and Pasadena, California, but I really like California. My father was born here when I wasn't born, but he was born here back in the 60s. So there's definitely some roots here for me that I feel like I'm touching by being back in California. So that's just a little bit of my backstory. Let's just get straight into it, what branding is and how to basically, formulate and build a brand within a 30-day construct. So what is branding? Let's start first with what it actually is. Branding is what you're known for. It's your reputation. It's what you do. And once you really understand what you do well, you're able to be able to productize that into a product or a service, or, something that people can, identify with, that's you, that has your signature on it. And I think this is where, big companies have definitely specialized a lot more than small brands or companies, is really knowing how to get their audience to support them through branding. And if you really want to have success in today's economy, especially being on the internet and digital marketplaces, you have to be able to up your branding nowadays. You can't just be one dimensional with your branding and marketing. You got to get a little bit more creative. And I like that. I think it's interesting. It's forward thinking, forward moving. You know, summary, that's a part of what branding is. It's your presence. It's the energy that people feel when they may look at your logo, your website, when they look at, you know, your overall just aesthetic as a company. What does it represent? Like, what does your story actually convey to the consumer? And I think that's really what branding is in a nutshell. It's all of those things in one. It's really just being able to just tell your story of what you're known for, how you got there, why you do it, you know, and what's continuing to drive you to do it. Now, how to tell your brand story. This is what you really need to focus more on is, how do I tell my brand story in a way that conveys to my audience in a way that they can emotionally connect and want to take action after they emotionally connect. We don't want somebody just to emotionally connect and that follows up with no sense of curiosity or purchase. How do we get people to actually engage and actually take action to participate in what it is that we offer? My first thing is just really focusing on what you do, what it is that you do, how you do it, and why you do it is really just, you know, one and the same of telling your story. So focus on what it is that you do. If you create t-shirts for a living, right? Show your process of creating t-shirts. Show yourself heat pressing the shirt, what it's like, why you may prefer heat press over DTG, whatever it is that fits your company's brand and mold, or what is the process that goes into it? Do you use a specific cotton or material that, you know, is eco-friendly? It's just certain things that you want to do to help tell your story and set you apart from the crowd, because that's honestly what the consumer identifies with when making a purchase is, you know, do the morals and values and ethics kind of align to who I am as a consumer? How do you inspire change? How do you help people, you know, express whatever it is they need to express through your product or through your service? So that's another thing that you may want to focus on is how you do it, being able to show the process of how something goes from idea to an actual finished product. This is another way that brands really are able to lure people in. Like me personally, I like a jean company. I can't think of the name of it, but it was a jean company. And the way that they showed you how the jeans were dyed to how the jeans, you know, were cut and everything. It was start to finish of how their jeans were particularly made. It really made me want their jeans. Not even that I needed a pair of jeans, but it was just the process and the effort that went into making the jeans that I emotionally connected with as a creative and a designer myself. So somebody that's probably just going into a store looking to get a pair of jeans to go on a field trip or whatever, they're not really thinking about, you know, these jeans being made from a rich fabric or, you know, something specific. They're just, you know, trying to get what they need. But me, I may not necessarily need a pair of jeans, but the fact that the artist put that much time into, you know, designing those jeans the way that they did, I connected with it. And then I followed up with the purchase just to show support and because I like the product. So I think that's another thing that you need to also focus on when branding is how you do it. Get into it. It's no bad thing with really just showing your process. And I think sometimes, you know, we think as though we're giving away free game or sauce and somebody might steal it, but it's not. They're not going to steal it. All they're going to more than likely do is innovate it. And that's what we need in more industries is innovation. We need more innovative people to enhance and make our lives more better and more interesting. So why you do it. Now, this is where I think a lot of people miss the mark is, why do you do what you do? Tell your story, your why. This is what really, to me, seals the deal, wraps the cake. I got you right where I want you, because when I tell you my why, whether that's, you know, ending world hunger or whether that's giving back to kids in Haiti, that's going to connect with you for sure on an emotional level. So you have to be able to convey your why, you know, to really be able to seal that deal of whatever it is that you want your audience to take from your, you know, marketing or promotion. So make sure that you get into your why, guys, and try to be able to incorporate that on your web page. Try to incorporate it, you know, throughout your marketing campaign, just showing yourself, engaging with whatever it is that your why is, and just, you know, advocating to get more, because the more the merrier. You know, the more that you tell why you're doing something, the more that people understand fully what it is that, you know, you're offering. Now, it usually takes in between 6 months to a year to build a brand. Me personally, I like to say even longer. Honestly, I think substantial brands are built anywhere between 15 to 20 years. And I think if you really look throughout history, a lot of powerful brands that are here and probably may not be going anywhere for some time have been around for at least about 10 to 15, maybe 20 years. But for the sake of this video, to actually build and have a construct to build around and people know what you do and what you offer and why you do it, it can really take up to 6 months. And this can be from marketing campaigns, advertising, maybe even a social media shout out from an influencer, somebody like that. It's a lot of components that can go into it, but I think if you follow the 30-day content outline, you can really take advantage of like really increasing your momentum of how fast you can grow. And the reason why I say that is because I look at social media as a vehicle. It's a vehicle, but the moment that you put your foot on the gas, it will start moving. But over time, you have to continue to be able to increase, your momentum. I want to just make sure that you're focusing on building momentum, to be able to capitalize on that momentum to have a broader reach. That's the whole purpose of being able to, market and get more people to see what you're doing, is to be able to have a broader audience to reach, advertise, promote, and potential clients, So I think that's, something that can be implemented throughout time, but only with consistency will you really see the best results for the 30-day content calendar. Now, in the branding blueprint, I pretty much just go over every platform, all the way from Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, all of those. I go into depth onto those. You can take advantage of whatever one works for you. You can have 2 or 3 platforms that you may work with. You may have 1 platform that you're working with, but it definitely gives you a consistent outline on what to post, how frequently to post, what times are best to post, what type of content should you be posting. And I think that those are pretty much just like, a few building blocks to getting your ball rolling, with the acceleration to arrive at where you're trying to go. Now, if you want to know how to keep your audience engaged, one way that I've really found productive to keep my audience engaged is through providing value. And that can be through education, that can be through awareness. It could be in any way, shape, or form that sees fit for your business. But I think you really just want to be able to educate and bring awareness, to something that's bigger than you. And I think that's a good way of engagement on social media, because a lot of people would like to bookmark, save, and engage with content that's more controversial, educational, because people have opinions, people have questions, and this is a good way. So if you are doing something that, could potentially get people engaging and conversing on your topics, hopefully in positive ways, then that can create more, feedback through the algorithm to, push you more into the algorithm of, people's feeds. So if you do have that aspect or component to your business, I think that's something that you should take advantage of, is, really just aspiring to educate and provide value in some way. You don't want people to just keep watching your videos and you're not really providing value, because eventually they're going to, stop subscribing to your content. So make sure that you're providing value in some kind of way. Give away some free content, maybe something, whatever it is. Provide value in some way, guys. Trust the process, guys. Don't rush it. It's not going to happen overnight. As I said, me personally, in order to really build a substantial brand, I think it really takes about 10 to 15 years. But we're not, like I said, talking from that. We're talking about now, but just really trust the process, even from starting at, ground zero to get into 30 days. Like, that's a long time, if you've never really challenged yourself to post 30 days, try to post, for 30 days just right now on your social media, whatever it is, like whether it's just your personal page, business, just start trying to formulate content. You will see how much of a challenge it really is. It's not as easy as people make it sound. And I think that's why you should just have an outline or some type of structure to what you're posting, how you're posting it, so you don't experience burnout. Because I think that's a common thing when being a solo entrepreneur, is that we experience burnout. But that was why I felt the need to be able to structure and build a guideline to how I was approaching social media, because to me, social media is becoming almost a job for a lot of people who provide value in this space. So if that's you, then you're definitely going to need some type of organization and structure to what it is that you're doing. So just stick it out, trust the process, don't quit, don't give up. If you need help always feel free to reach out. I can just give you my best, pointers on how to like kind of tweak, I also offer free 15-minute consultations too. So even if you need that, I'm always available for consultation. Platforms. What are the best platforms to build a brand on? Now, this is not a one size fit all type of answer. So I have to, go through all of the platforms that are, optional. So the first one, let's start with, is Instagram. Instagram is a visual aspect. It allows you to be able to, post short reels, photos that's engaging. But now Instagram is kind of leaning more towards the video realm, getting away from pictures and things like that. I really like Instagram because it really has a lot of user engagement. People are on Instagram engaging in different forms of content, video content more than picture content. But I think that Instagram is definitely a great start if you are like an influencer, a content creator, a photographer, a videographer, an actor, anything. Like, I feel like Instagram can go however really you want it to go. As long as you're creating content on Instagram that's engaging and that provides value to people, make them laugh, whatever, you're going to do well on Instagram, especially, if you are a trendy person. So I think Instagram is definitely a good one. On Instagram, I would just recommend starting with having an outline for your page. Like, don't just approach Instagram throwing pictures and videos up. Like, really take the time out to say, okay, if it posts in threes, I need to figure out, okay, let me find 3 photos or videos that all aesthetically fit the same. You don't want to just throw up anything and then you got this over here looking this way and this looking this way and this looking that way. It's like, trust me, you see it often. I see this so often. Don't be that person. Don't be that person that's just got a messy Instagram. Now, Facebook. Facebook to me is the biggest platform. It's the most open platform. Believe it or not, Facebook allows you to be able to reach more local residents. It allows you to be able to reach more friends and family, people who might directly support you. So if you're just starting out with a business, like say you got a cupcake business and you just want to start selling them out your house, I think something like Facebook is definitely a good marketplace to start building your brand, because more people that know you on Facebook and personally know you, the better and more powerful that you will be on that platform. And I think that's kind of like where the construct of Facebook is, because it's so big. It's like they can't market you to everybody how I feel like Instagram can. And I think that's why Facebook bought Instagram, was to be able to make Instagram a more worldly and then make Facebook a more local type of thing. So I think that's something that I picked up through the algorithm of promoting on Facebook and promoting on Instagram. To me, Facebook promotes more to your friends and family and local people, whereas Instagram promotes to people who are subscribed to your content. So those are 2 differences that I've noticed. Twitter, I recommend if you are a philosopher, if you are a writer, if you are someone who has a voice and people can't get enough of your voice. I think Twitter is an excellent tool, because to me, Twitter allows you to show your personality, your charisma, your humor, whatever it is. To me, Twitter really just allows you to do that. Now, when I was 18, 19, Twitter was definitely a big thing for me, but I kind of fell off. I didn't really, stay on the bandwagon for too long. I jumped on the Instagram one, but I still think that Twitter is like a place that's going to come back, like, and be on top again, probably in the near future, mainly because of those aspects. I think that people are more controversial nowadays and they want more quick engagement. They don't want to really wait for a picture or a video from somebody that they know. They kind of want to see what your thoughts are on something right then and there. And I think that's the cool aspect of Twitter. But Twitter is limited in its ways, because you don't really see too many people posting engaging content that's in visual or photography or anything like that. But that's, to me, why you have the TikToks and the Instagrams and things like that. So to me, just use Twitter as like your vocal box, as your diary, just a place that you just jot down stuff. You don't even care. You just let it. The next one is TikTok. TikTok is influencer nation. If you are a young entrepreneur, somebody that's looking to, speak to the youth, the young audience, TikTok is definitely the place. It's very quick. So good luck trying to get people's attention span, because they're watching videos that's 2 to 3 seconds, 5 seconds. So attention span is a little bit more scarce on here, but I think that it can work to your advantage if you have addictive content. If you have very addictive content, TikTok can be your best friend. You can have people watch 15 videos in a matter of 2 minutes, because that's how short the videos are. But I definitely think that you can build a brand for yourself on TikTok and really be able to leverage that, because I think a lot of companies are looking for influencers and people that have a TikTok presence. So TikTok can definitely be a strong tool in building your brand as well. Now, to me, YouTube is the slowest rolling of them all, but it's the broadest of them all. YouTube, next to Facebook, can reach everybody. It's a 24/7 cycle. It's almost like Facebook and Instagram in one, but in video form almost. So I really do still like YouTube in 2023, mainly for that reason, is because YouTube really just allows you to be able to reach a wide audience of people. People frequent YouTube all day, every day. You can also do advertising on here. To me, YouTube is still just open, just like how Facebook is. It's a lot of, to me, virtual space in the world of YouTube for advertising promotion. Yes, you can build a brand on YouTube because it allows you to really just be able to niche down. People will find you through other related videos, see what your target is, your niche, and more than likely they'll, subscribe because they probably don't want to go through the hassle of trying to find you again in the algorithm. So I think that YouTube is a little bit more convincing as far as building a brand and having more people, authentically follow you. LinkedIn, how could I forget LinkedIn, right? Now, LinkedIn, not my favorite. This is why it's last. I've been trying LinkedIn. I've been failing miserably on LinkedIn, but to me, LinkedIn is business to business, and I have to conquer LinkedIn because I am a creative business consultant and I want to be able to work with different brands. So I have to build up my portfolio through LinkedIn. I need to be able to reach out to other people that may work for the companies. So I have to navigate on LinkedIn what the algorithm is. But I have put in a 30-day trial and error. And I think for me, LinkedIn is not my focus right now, though it will be in the near future. It's just that I have to have more components going into the LinkedIn. But I do believe that you can create a brand for yourself on LinkedIn. To me, it's almost a 2.0 version of Twitter, but not as engaging. It's just more professional. But if you have the professional content to offer on LinkedIn, I think that you can blow it out the park. I think that you can really build an audience for yourself. If you have professionalism, creativity, uniqueness, connections, you're definitely going to succeed on LinkedIn and get more leads and opportunities to do more stuff. So those are my recommendations for the platforms to build your brand in 30 days. So now let's just go over the do's and don'ts of branding. Now, one of the do's of branding is building a strong presence. To me, you have to build a strong presence with your brand. You do not want people to just come to your page and never return. You do not want people to go to your website and never return, never buy anything. You have to build a strong brand presence. And how do you do that? You get in front of your audience, and that's through marketing. That's through telling your story. That's through really being able to engage with them, figuring out what it is that people have a problem with, and ultimately just helping them solve that problem. So really focus on your presence in the consumer marketplace, in the digital marketplace. Focus on how you make people feel. The next point is stick to your niche audience. Stick to the people that support you. Stick to the people that value you. Don't try to talk to people that don't necessarily, care for what you stand for, or care or have any interest in what you want to do with your brand. So mainly just communicate with the people that share the same ideals. And there's nothing wrong with that, because even if you have 10,000 people that agree with what you do or stand for as a brand, that's enough to be able to grow and compound and eventually maybe persuade other people to identify with your brand. So make sure you speak directly to your audience, because in this time frame, I think a lot of people are looking for something that they identify with and that makes them feel special. So I think that is why branding will be such a superpower in the near future for big companies and small companies. Produce meaningful and valuable content. Now, make sure that you're producing content that is meaningful. Don't produce content that, is just out there to get a quick sale. Don't produce content that, that you wouldn't even stop and scroll at. Produce content that's going to make somebody say, oh, hey, that just made me rethink. That made me change the way that I looked at this person or this particular product or service. Now I have a different approach. We are in the business of changing perspective. That's what branding is. Changing the perspective of your audience to say, hey, I'm interested. How do I buy it? What does it do? I've obviously already seen what it do, but how do I get it? That's really what we're in the business of doing, is turning that curiosity into a purchase. So hone in on that. Identify with the culture of your audience. Now, this is important too. You have to identify with the culture. You cannot be in a particular industry and you're not of that culture. So it's going to be harder to communicate when you don't have direct connection with the people that you're targeting. So if you're selling baseball caps, but you don't, necessarily follow sports or play sports, it's going to be a little bit more harder to know what sports teams that people may necessarily be in demand for, so just really having a more formal introduction to like what you're doing and having that care for it. I think a lot of times we just get into stuff, make a quick buck, like in drop shipping or, Forex trading, all of like the quick scheme things. Like, don't fall for that. Invest in what really makes you different, what sets you apart from the crowd. Like, value that, because just trying to make a quick dollar, it's like it only goes so far and you're going to make a quick buck, and it still really doesn't fulfill the void that we have as creatives, is to, have meaning, to have purpose. So find whatever it is that gives you meaning, find whatever it is that helps you fulfill your purpose. That's really what it's about. Branding is more than a label. Now, this is how we're going to close it. Branding is a way of inspiration. It's how we motivate people. It's how we convey our why to people. Branding is so much more than just your logo. It's so much more than just, your brand's colors or aesthetics or your product. Branding is what you stand for, and I think that's really just where the world is going in 2023. Really just, what do you stand for as a human being? How can it add value to my life? And, ultimately, you make that decision on whether or not you want to support it. And I think that's, very important and powerful, because I think it allows a lot more people to align with purpose and takes people out of the workforce. And, we have a lot of people that are getting upset with the advancement of technology in society. But to me, it's just really funneling more people into their purpose, to be able to connect with other individuals, inspire other individuals, help other individuals, and that's going to help us as a collective elevate and go into our destiny as a race. And I think that's so beautiful about life. Now, that pretty much concludes, everything in regards to how to build your brand in 30 days. If you want to schedule a consultation, as I said, I do offer a 15-minute courtesy consultation, link in description. And also, if you have not gotten a chance to grab the branding blueprint, please grab that if you want a more concise insight, and if you want the 30-day content calendar. Also, I will be providing way more things on my Gumroad, like products, coincide with the information that I'm giving you guys. And the only reason, like I said, I charge for this mainly is because it does take time for me to curate, a lot of this stuff, organize it and structure. So $10, that's not breaking the bank or anything like that. I've read books that's changed my life for more than $10, $15, $20. So $10 is nothing, guys. So that's that. I thank you and I appreciate you guys for checking out this video. Until the next time, guys, peace.